Hello, my name is Ross Silver, CEO of Sylva International, and I'm joined today by Dr. David Hansen, the CEO of MBVX Therapeutics. Dr. Hansen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
So, came across your company. Obviously, I'm very excited about the prospects of MBVX, and based on a number of readers and viewers who've come to our website, I thought it would be helpful to have a video interview with you today. So, if we can, let's get into some questions that a number of readers have asked of you. So, the first being, can you provide an overview on MBVX and the opportunity that you believe MBVX represents to prospective investors who are just now learning about the company while watching this?
Well, sure. I'll be happy to do that. So MBVX Therapeutics Holdings, Inc. is our formal name. We're a NASDAQ-traded company. We're a clinical stage biotechnology company with a fully human antibody discovery platform, and we're focused on the rapid translation from our discovery program into clinical development of products that address unmet medical needs in the treatment of especially difficult cancers. Our antibody we designate MVT-5873. It's a fully human antibody that targets something called Sylva. This is a target that is expressed on the surface of a variety of solid tumor cancers. And it's all on something called CA19-9. This antibody is currently in phase 1 clinical trials as a therapeutic agent for patients with pancreatic cancer as well as other CA19-9 positive cancers. That would be like small cell lung cancer, colon cancer. And it's also in clinical development as a diagnostic agent, a PET agent. We designate that as 2163. What makes this CA19-9 interesting is that it's expressed on more than 90% of pancreatic cancers, and it plays an important role in what's called tumor adhesion metastasis, the spread of the cancer, and it's a marker for an especially aggressive cancer phenotype. CA19-9 serum levels are measured regularly, and they're a valuable adjunct to the diagnosis, prognosis, and treatment of pancreatic cancer. So with our collaborators that include Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, Sarah Cannon Research Institute, Honor Health, and Imaging Endpoints, we have treated more than 50 patients in our early phase 1 clinical program with both the therapeutic agent, remember that's 5873, and our PET diagnostic agent called 2163 in phase 1 clinical trials. And we've demonstrated that both we can deliver it safely. We've just established a maximum tolerated dose, and we've also demonstrated very good target specificity for these antibodies, and that bodes very well for subsequent development. And patient dosing has been initiated for our lead program today, which is our phase 1 program in radioimmunotherapy, which we designate MVT-1075.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I saw that you recently announced the initiation of patient enrollment at a second site, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, MSK, in the phase 1 trial evaluating the radioimmunotherapy product for patients with locally or advanced metastatic adenocarcinoma of the pancreas, which is PDAC for those, well, that's the acronym, or other CA19-9 positive malignancies, including colon and lung cancers. So data is due by the end of the year. It is an open label study. What are you hoping to learn from this study?
Okay, well, a little background first. So MBVX's development strategy has always been aimed at developing more potent antibody-based products, especially for these difficult cancers. Much of our early work with our MVT-5873 and our 2163 imaging agent were intended to lay the foundation for bringing forward a new and potentially more potent and effective new therapy that would be our MVT-1075 radioimmunotherapy. We tackled pancreatic cancer because the antigen, Sylva, is expressed on such a high percentage, more than 90% of all of the pancreatic cancers. And the CA9 validated blood test gave us an inexpensive and very straightforward way to screen patients prior to entry into our clinical trials to make sure that their cancers express this antigen. Now, pancreatic cancer is an especially difficult cancer. The 5-year survival rates are about 8%, with the majority of patients dying within the first 12 months. These dismal statistics take into account the best and the latest treatment regimens that are delivered to patients. So pancreatic cancer, unfortunately, is not alone in this category of poor prognoses and poor survival. Small cell lung cancer, bile duct cancer, metastatic colon cancer are all similar in their dire prognoses, as well as they express the CA19-9 antigen, which makes them eligible, if not ideal, for treatment with our antibody-based therapies. It's because of these dire prognoses that we're developing these more potent versions of our antibodies to bring the most potent and potentially effective anti-cancer therapies to these patients in a very unmet medical need. Our MVT-1075 product is our leading product, as you said. It is an antibody, our 5873 antibody, essentially functioning as a targeting vehicle, carrying a radioactive metal to the site of the tumor so that the radiation that's emitted by this radioactive metal can kill the surrounding cancer cells. So getting back to your question, in the study that we're talking about, our MVT-1075 phase 1 study, we first and most importantly want to establish safety. Can we give the starting dose of this patient to late-stage cancer patients without eliciting unwanted toxic side effects? And the first few patients that we'll dose will help us understand the answer to this question. And that's why the data that we are going to be obtaining from these first few patients is so important, especially as we look toward the end of this year when we'll get our first glimpse at what that data looks like. The second important milestone that we'll be looking to find is our maximum tolerated dose. So this is a key waypoint in any clinical development program because it establishes the phase 2 clinical dose, and that's going to be very important. Okay. All during this process, we're going to be measuring the size of patient tumors through a formal process called RECIST criteria. Measuring tumor is called RECIST criteria for tumor assessment. And to determine whether the tumors are shrinking or not. Now, we do these RECIST measurements every 2 months. So as we enroll these patients, even as we're talking today, we'll potentially see both the safety and potentially the efficacy information, early glimpses by the end of this year. And potential investors and strategic partners have always told us that this early data is a key to helping them decide on their future investments and their potential partnering opportunities.
Got it. Okay. Well, thank you for that. And just a final question, it's sort of my million-dollar question, if you will, is, why now? Why MAVVAX now? Why should an investor take his or her hard-earned dollars and invest in MAVVAX today, versus a later date? If you could just share what you believe to be the answer to that.
Well, we've made significant progress during the course of this year, prioritizing our pipeline, our clinical development candidates, and continuing to secure additional capital to help us advance our clinical development program. Our technology platform continues to be validated through our growing body of data and with our collaboration efforts with these leading investigative institutions. And our focus moving forward is on our 2 clinical programs that we have running today. The first is our MVT-1075 radioimmunotherapy program, where we're enrolling our first set of patients. And our second is to enroll additional patients in the MVT-5873 combination with first-line therapy in newly diagnosed pancreatic cancer patients. We're looking to confirm some early observations that we think are quite positive in the early patients that were treated in this particular study. Now, all of these clinical activities directly support our previously announced engagement with Greenhill and Company. They are there to serve as our financial advisor and assist the company in exploring and evaluating strategic options with the goal of maximizing shareholder value. So Greenhill will be assisting the company in evaluating transaction options that are already under discussion, as well as identifying new opportunities. So from a value perspective, we believe that the continued progress of our clinical programs drive value for the company, independent of what Greenhill brings to the table. And now Greenhill will bring to the table a significant and experienced advisory bank to help us translate these early development efforts into potential partnering efforts. And we think we can do all of that within a fairly short-term time frame.
Well, yeah, I thank you for that. And I mean, my personal take on it is you see a company working in a novel therapeutic. You also have a diagnostic to go along with it. So to help you support your clinical studies, you have, you have third-party validation through some of your collaborators. You have validation through these institutional partnerships. And now to have an investment bank, a well-regarded investment bank, to be out there looking for, strategic options for you as well. I mean, that's all you could really ask for an early stage company, for an investor such as us. So, yeah, no, I definitely wish you luck going forward. Thank you so much for your time today. And for investors and prospective investors who are watching this, please visit our website, www.sylvacap.com, to see more information or learn more about MBVX. And thank you again, Dr. Hansen, for your time.
All right. Thank you, Ross. Thank you very much for the time.